search for the emergence of a new Africa.
On Network Africa this week, we focus on bringing back our girls, getting justice for Nigerians, conflict resolution, and more brow-raising details concerning the trial of the decade. As the search for the missing girls continues, the Boko Haram sect releases a video in which some of the girls have been forced to convert to Islam. Then, a distraught mother seeks justice for her son, whom she believes was murdered.
The summary of the accounts of these friends were totally different from what the police report indicated, and it revealed a weak attempt by the authorities in Dubai to hide facts that pointed to the fact that my poor son was murdered.
Also, sanctions are imposed on the Central African Republic's former president and 4 others by the US President Barack Obama. And does Oscar Pistorius suffer from mental illness? Well, we'll know for sure after he undergoes an evaluation. Hello and welcome to Network Africa with me, C.A.R. We'll start things off right here at home in Nigeria because the eyes of the world are clearly on us, and the phrase being chanted is "Bring back our girls." While protests continue both in Nigeria and many parts of the world, the dastardly Boko Haram sect, which is responsible for the abduction, conveniently made a video which was released by the French news agency, the AFP, on Monday, May the 12th. The video supposedly showed images of the schoolgirls who were kidnapped by them, and the terror group claims many of the girls have been converted from Christianity to Islam while being held, and all those in the footage could be seen wearing headscarves. The group's leader said that it will release them in exchange for militant prisoners being set free.
This is the latest video of some of the abducted students of the government girls' secondary school, Chibok, Borno State, said to have been released by the Boko Haram leader, Abubakar Shekau. Shot in an unidentified location, the footage shows most of the girls dressed in black and gray Muslim hijab, reciting verses from the Quran, which literally means, "Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the universe." That done, 3 of the girls were called out to renounce their faith and declare for Islam.
I
became a Muslim because Islam preaches peace and is the right way. Christianity and all it stands for is not the right religion because it does not glorify God.
Islam is pure and is the religion that is universal. I'm appealing to my people back home to embrace Islam, which is the way to the salvation of mankind.
I am a Muslim by birth, and my parents too are Muslims. Contrary to what we were told, this group has shown us love and care since we came here, and I want other women to join us.
This is the first time the girls will be seen since their abduction last month, and reports say the sect is willing to use the girls as bargaining instruments for the release of their imprisoned members.
Another issue generating a buzz is the death of Oluwatoba Falode, and his grieving mother suspects foul play in the death of her son, who was a 19-year-old student in Dubai, the United Arab Emirates. Her speculation contradicts the report of the Dubai police, which recorded that the boy fell off the balcony of his 17th floor apartment in Manchester Towers, Dubai Marina.
Otoba Falode
It must have been a pretty long fall from this awesome height off the balcony of the 17th floor apartment of Manchester Towers, Dubai Marina, on February the 15th this year. He stood no chance when he crashed onto the sidewalk. He died instantly.
That's a very big height.
Family and friends of this promising young man assembled this press conference to tell the sad story. First, it's the version offered by the Dubai police.
The summary of the police report is as follows. That close to the time of the accident, Toba was on the balcony of his flat with his alleged girlfriend. That Toba was sitting on the railing of his balcony with his feet off the floor and was swinging in this position backward and forward. That his girlfriend was still there with him and was warning him to be careful. That she later went inside the flat, and shortly after, they all noticed that Toba was no longer sitting on the railings of the balcony and must have fallen down from the balcony railings.
But considering that Toba's body was found about 15 feet away from the building and so many inconsistencies in the police report, his mother, Aisha Falode, a leading journalist, took it upon herself to get to the truth.
We traveled to Dubai in April and met with some of my son's friends who were present in the apartment on that fateful day. The summary of the accounts of these friends were totally different from what the police report indicated, and it revealed a weak attempt by the authorities in Dubai to hide facts that pointed to the fact that my poor son was murdered.
Human rights activists have also taken up the call for the Nigerian government to live up to its responsibility and ensure that the vicious death of one of its citizens under questionable circumstances is not handled with levity.
We suspect fraud in the 10 reports. The Dubai police gist of the incident has many holes and raises many questions that warrant investigation.
Some students had died, unfortunately, before my son. And if we do not share this information about Dubai, about the dark side to Dubai, other parents may also fall victims to the trap of Dubai.
It does appear there's a conspiracy leading to a cover-up of the brutal killing of the young Nigerian.
The shame about all of this is the inability or the refusal of the Dubai police to do anything, and even on the part of the Nigerian government to take this matter up. One of the witnesses who we spoke with in Dubai was very clear as to the squabble that happened on that balcony. He saw it himself.
As the mother, sister and friends of the late Toba Falode, also known as Tyler Frey, come to terms with their grief, they're asking that justice must be done. Young Nigerians in search of the proverbial golden fleece abroad have been victims of unsolved and unresolved murders in various parts of the world.
Now, outside of our shores, but still within the African continent, the U.S. President Barack Obama has imposed sanctions on the Central African Republic's former president, Francois Bozize, and 4 other men linked to violence and human rights abuses in the country. The country has been plagued by sectarian violence for a year after Seleka rebels, who are mostly Muslim, seized power, and anti-balaka militias, mainly Christian, fought back. Thousands have been killed and about 1 million people displaced. But on a more optimistic note, the interim president, Samba-Panza, is determined to bring change to the Central African Republic by ridding the country of conflict.
The special envoy of the UN Secretary General for the Great Lakes region, Mary Robinson, held a meeting with the Central African Republic's interim president, Samba-Panza, before visiting camps for internally displaced people in the capital Bangui. Robinson made the trip to the country to assess the situation and offer her support.
The objective is to really support the authorities here in the transitional government, particularly the president, Samba-Panza, whom I have met before. I look forward to meeting her. I also want to inform myself of the seriousness of the situation, military, humanitarian, political, and then I will use my powers as a special envoy to follow up and to try to encourage more support.
Robinson said she was impressed by the president's determination and vision for the country.
With Madam President, we asked her to outline the priorities for her government at the moment. And she discussed the fact that there has been support from the international community, but still only 28% of the money voted for humanitarian activity. She is worried about the withdrawal of the forces from Chad, which have left a void in that part of the country, and we need to fill that void quickly. We discussed many other issues, and I am very impressed by her determination and her vision for the country.
The Central African Republic, a former French colony, descended into chaos after the mostly Muslim Seleka rebels seized power in March last year, and their abuses against the majority Christian population set off a wave of revenge attacks, killing thousands. Seleka leaders were forced to resign under international pressure in January, but Christian militias known as anti-balaka have intensified attacks against the Muslims. Hundreds of Seleka rebels, as well as Muslim civilians, have fled Bangui and the south to the north and neighboring countries, raising fears of a de facto north-south partition of the country along religious lines. More than 2,000 people have been killed in the tit-for-tat violence, and another 1 million of the country's 4.5 million people have been displaced, despite the presence of several thousand African peacekeepers, European Union and French troops. The United Nations has warned that the conflict could spiral into genocide.